All right, fans, as Rage continues, so does Myron Schimmelman's quest to make or break the toxic table. And tonight, AJ Hawk and Boston Connor will be facing Golden Al Barnett and Vic LaRue, the Canadian Cartel.
Yeah, boy, can knock it up.
Our next tag team match, scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Coming down the aisle, from parts unknown, combined weight, also unknown, here are AJ Hawk and Boston Connor, the toxic table.
Timu Sammartino and the Hamburglar back again? Oh, man, Myron, you gotta give me the background on this one.
I think they're actually getting smarter, Tex. They've actually started asking questions.
Questions like what?
Like, why are you trying to destroy us, Mr. Schimmelman?
Well, you know, Myron, they may be unpopular, they may not be overly bright, and they certainly aren't popular. But I will say this, if you keep feeding them these kind of matches, they're gonna improve.
That's kind of the idea. I figure if I could actually make decent wrestlers out of them, it might be worth the effort.
An interesting sociological study, Myron. I wonder how it's going to turn out.
I have no idea, but I'll let you know.
Well, I don't know that AJ Hawk and Boston Connor are quite ready to take on the likes of Golden Al Barnett and Vic LaRue, the Canadian Cartel.
You know, these two may surprise the hell out of us one day and actually win a match.
Boston Connor has one win over the Big Boss Man, that's all.
And their opponents, at a combined weight of 483 pounds. From Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Golden Al Barnett, and from Quebec City, Vic LaRue. Together they are the Canadian Cartel.
And they're also the star pupils of the Riley Flash Wrestling Academy. Golden Al Barnett and Vic LaRue, the Canadian Cartel, still nowhere near tag team gold, but they are still extremely popular, especially here in Edmonton.
And who's to say Al and Vic might not someday snag tag team gold? That's definitely a possibility that exists.
One thing's for sure, they didn't misspend their wrestling school money.
Well, we have quite a few talents that have come out of Riley Flash's Wrestling Academy, including these guys, Brooklyn Von Brown and Josie Jane. I guess Riley's no slouch.
The partners have chosen sides, and it'll be AJ Hawk and Vic LaRue initiating contact in this tag team matchup. Referee Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. Series of shots from AJ Hawk quickly countered by LaRue. LaRue whips him to the far right corner. A chop across the chest. And another. AJ Hawk rounded up head first into the turnbuckle. Vic LaRue moves right back in. Gets a hold of him. Drives him into the turnbuckles and a German release suplex for a good measure. LaRue steps out. In comes Golden Al Barnett. AJ Hawk still laid out from that German suplex. And oh, what a hometown advantage for the Canadian Cartel. The fans are absolutely loving them and absolutely despising the toxic table. Flip over neck whip from Barnett. AJ Hawk has not moved from that spot. Barnett rounds him up. Hard Irish whip to the ropes. A duck under from Barnett. A leapfrog from Barnett. And look at this, whoa, a quick counter from AJ Hawk. I must confess myself surprised. Here we go all the way. Oh, what a nasty brainbuster. And a spinning clothesline from AJ Hawk. He's trying to change the momentum of things here. Rounds up Barnett, pitches him halfway across the ring. Barnett catches an elbow to the back from AJ Hawk. A chop, a kick, and a headbutt. And down goes Golden Al Barnett. Barnett catches another headbutt from AJ Hawk as in comes Boston Connor on the tag. Boston Connor rounds up Barnett. Rebounds off the ropes and an elbow right across the jaw. Here's a cover from Boston Connor, one, but just barely a one. Barnett quickly getting the shoulder up there. A front cradle. So Boston Connor a smash into the turnbuckle and spun out to the center of the ring. Barnett with an armbar on Boston Connor. Barnett steps out. Here comes Vic LaRue. LaRue catches a clothesline from Boston Connor. Quickly stands himself back up, gets locked up. Boston Connor winds him up into a Russian leg sweep. Boston Connor rebounds off the ropes. A leg drop right across the throat of Vic LaRue. And there's a falling neck breaker as Boston Connor tags in AJ Hawk. LaRue with a jumping elbow. Immediately going after Boston Connor as well, but taken down by AJ Hawk. A series of elbows from Vic LaRue. AJ Hawk quickly disengaged here. Hard whip to the ropes. LaRue with the duck under and the leapfrog. Whoa, AJ Hawk quickly putting on the brakes there. Whips LaRue out over the top rope down onto the floor. Referee Walt Rothburn starts the count as AJ Hawk turns his attention to Golden Al Barnett. Barnett not having it. Boston Connor rolls Vic LaRue back into the ring as an assist to AJ Hawk. Hawk whipped to the far corner. An elbow, a quick counter from Vic LaRue. LaRue has him up, walks him to the corner, drops him head first into the buckle. Here's a cover. One. And just a one. AJ Hawk rolls to the outside. Vic LaRue diving off the top with a double axe handle across the head of AJ Hawk. LaRue turns his attention to Boston Connor. Cracks him a beauty across the head. Takes him outside to the apron. Drops him on the lip of the apron. Vic LaRue, a one-man fighting machine here, gets a hold of the ankle on AJ Hawk. As Hawk moves in on Golden Al Barnett, Vic LaRue quickly with a wraparound DDT on AJ Hawk. Vic LaRue rounding up AJ Hawk. Boston Connor nowhere in sight at the moment. Hawk counters him, whips him into the corner, delivers a shot to the ribs. And there's Boston Connor. He is back and making the tag from AJ Hawk. LaRue charges, catches a clothesline from Boston Connor. Followed up with a stomp to the head. Boston Connor rounded up to a standing position. Here we go. Oh, Vic LaRue catches a hard right. And here's a tag to Golden Al Barnett. A quick tag at that. Barnett opens up with a series of rights and lefts. Gets a hold of Boston Connor. Whips him to the ropes and a kitchen sink knee to the midsection for Boston Connor. Oh, Golden Al Barnett yanking the arm of Boston Connor against those ropes. A drop toe hold from Barnett. And stretching the leg of Boston Connor. Boston Connor quickly counters a series of shots to the head to Golden Al Barnett. They lock up. Barnett escorted to the ropes. Boston Connor paying him back a little bit. Yanking the arm of Golden Al Barnett against the ropes. Barnett whipped to the rope. Look at this. Whoa. Wow. What a suplex from Boston Connor. With Boston Connor with the claim to fame of having won his very first match against the big boss man, AJ Hawk, in on the tag. Barnett whips him to the corner. Drapes the leg over the middle rope and delivers a kick to the calf of AJ Hawk. Barnett has him up. There's a backbreaker as Vic LaRue is brought in. AJ Hawk on the outside. LaRue making a beeline for Boston Connor. Tags him another shot across the noggin and drops him again on the lip of the apron as AJ Hawk is rolled back into the ring. But Golden Al Barnett taking a dive over here and a jumping elbow from Vic LaRue to AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk rounded up. LaRue with an armbar on AJ Hawk. Boston Connor still non-compass menace at the moment. LaRue winds up the arm, delivers a kick to the chest. LaRue rounds him up, discus punch. Takes Hawk down again. LaRue takes a moment to do a little showboating, but in comes Boston Connor while he does. Boston Connor catches a snap suplex from Vic LaRue. LaRue drives an elbow right into the forehead and takes down AJ Hawk at the same time. Vic LaRue, definitely a one-man fighting machine for sure. Boston Connor catches him with an elbow on the outside. Rounds him up, a hard forearm. Drops LaRue to the floor. Oh, leg drop from Boston Connor. LaRue catches a hard right. Boston Connor goes behind, electric chair drop. Near the barricades on the outside for Vic LaRue. LaRue pitched halfway across. Boston Connor. Just a little bit of vulgarity there. LaRue misses with the elbow. Gets a hold of Boston Connor with this chicken wing suplex on the outside as the referee continues to count. LaRue gathers up Boston Connor. Gets him back inside the ring. Here comes AJ Hawk. Vic LaRue gets a hold of him. Lays in a cravat suplex on AJ Hawk. Boston Connor trying to get back to his feet, but Vic LaRue right there and again taking down both members of the Toxic Table all by his lonesome. Vic LaRue performing tonight for the fans here in Edmonton. Here comes Golden Al Barnett. Boston Connor finally stands himself up, a jumping elbow as AJ Hawk intercedes on behalf of his partner. Slam Barnett down to the canvas. AJ Hawk smashes the head of Barnett into the turnbuckle. Has him up, scoop slams him. Here's a cover from AJ Hawk. One. But just a one. Again. A headbutt from AJ Hawk as he departs and lets Boston Connor back in. Barnett catches a right, a couple of rights, a left, and an uppercut from Boston Connor. Swing and a miss from Boston Connor. Barnett gonna correct the mistake here. Whips him to his team's corner. Moves in, gets a hold of Boston Connor. And whoa! Practically suplexed him into the corner. Barnett with a hold on Boston Connor. Oh man. Package fisherman. One. But AJ Hawk there to intercede for his partner again. Well, to their credit, the Toxic Table do function reasonably well as a team. Barnett gets a hold of Boston Connor, whips him to the corner. Again, torturing the arm against the ropes. Barnett with another grip on Boston Connor, has him and does it again. Suplexes him right into the corner. And I think he caught every single turnbuckle. Barnett all the way up. There's a double axe handle across the head of Boston Connor. Followed up with a stop as again the referee begins to count. And this match has gone on for quite some time now. And still no sign of a victor. Barnett countered by Boston Connor with elbows to the midsection. Boston Connor drives him headfirst into the ring post, Tex.
It's into the ring post time with the title on the line. You can play it anytime, even if you're 99.
Yes, I know. All right, well, another elbow from Boston Connor. Golden Al Barnett finding himself in a bit of trouble here. Boston Connor with a vertical suplex, well executed on Barnett. Because this a quick step. Whoa! Beautiful judo-style arm drag as Boston Connor tags in AJ Hawk. Barnett. Oh my, catches a beauty of a drop kick. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2, and almost as close to a near fall as we've come so far in this matchup. But Vic LaRue twirling the pin for AJ Hawk. Clubbing overhand right to Barnett. Barnett counters with a shot to the midsection, a discus punch. takes AJ Hawk down. Hawk rolls out to the floor. Barnett turns his attention to Boston Connor. Tags him a couple of rights and out to the floor he goes. And AJ Hawk makes his way back inside the ring. Barnett with a beautiful wraparound DDT. AJ Hawk back on the receiving end of the business here, as Barnett escorts AJ Hawk towards the center of the ring. Barnett winding it up here. Here's a crossface center ring. Boston Connor attempting to intercede here, but Barnett releasing the hold in any case. AJ Hawk rounded up. Counter whips Barnett, but Barnett with a couple of boots to the face of AJ Hawk. And here's a belly-to-belly suplex from Barnett. In comes Vic LaRue. AJ Hawk laid out center ring here. A stomp to the chest, a stomp to the face from Vic LaRue. LaRue with a driving knee into the head of AJ Hawk. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2, 3, and so ends this one as the Canadian Cartel picks up a tough win over the Toxic Table.
Here's the time, 13 minutes, 36 seconds, and your winners, Al Barnett and Vic LaRue, the Canadian Cartel.
All right, Myron, Barnett and LaRue picking up the pinfall win here, but not completely destroying the Toxic Table in record time. What's your evaluation?
I'm not sure if the Toxic Table are getting better or tougher. It's hard to decide. Well, hell, isn't tougher better? I suppose, in its own way, yeah, it could be. And to be fair, AJ Hawk and Boston Connor lasted a hell of a lot longer than they usually do.
That is for certain. The Canadian Cartel picking up a win here over the Toxic Table. We'll be back with more RWL Rage right after this.